Have you ever truly fallen in love before? I mean, like deep down in your core, like you know this is the one for you. You see it and you imagine a life together, and you want to protect it and hold them or it until the end of time. Yeah, that's kind of my experience watching Invincible. You know, the show that's been on every single meme that you've seen on the internet. You gotta think, Mark, think. Yeah, those memes. That's the show Invincible. Let me tell you, Invincible slaps the fucking skin off of your ass. Let me tell you something. Have you seen it yet? Because you really ought to. It's an Amazon Prime original, and yeah, didn't did not expect to actually like it as much as I did. The thing is about TV shows now is that it's so hyperbolic that either it's the worst show ever created of all time, or it is the greatest pinnacle of anything ever created by man. There's no in between anymore. So, like when The Walking Dead came out, made by the same guy that made Invincible, Grant Kirkhope. Nope, that's the guy that makes Banjo-Kazooie music. I'm thinking of Robert Kirkman. Anyways, this is the same thing. He created The Walking Dead, which was one of those shows that when it came out, if you didn't like it, you were fundamentally wrong. I got to season 3 and I hated it, never went back. But this has proven to me that he is actually a great writer, and I'm assuming the comics I would like more of The Walking Dead than the TV show. But anyways, this isn't about that dumb show. This is about the best show ever. Obviously, you're looking around on places like Reddit, and all they're doing is talking about it. They're just singing praises. They're just absolutely just telling you, hey, if you haven't watched this yet, you're a goddamn idiot. And I went into it fully expecting to go, yep, this was overhyped. But no, I've never been so happily wrong in my entire life. All right, going into this next part, I'm going to try to avoid any major spoilers. I will let you know. We'll probably talk about spoilers once I talk about what I don't like. But up until then, we'll try to keep it clean. Anything about it, I'll give you timestamps. We'll jump around, all right? All right, so starting off in episode 1. After seeing like the clips I had seen on Reddit or YouTube or just my recommendeds anywhere on social media, I was like, oh, this is a grotesquely over-the-top, gruesome show to the point where even I felt uncomfortable. Like watching Castlevania, stuff like that, you see people's eyeballs get like whipped out and their body parts ripped apart, and you're like, that's pretty rough, but it doesn't dwell on it. So episode 1 of Invincible plays it completely straight throughout the entire episode till like the last couple minutes, and then suddenly bang, there's some massive fight. Like you're seeing what superpowers could do to somebody. Like you're seeing people get ripped apart, slapped to pieces. Like it is wild. It's you don't see it coming. As you get later into the show, like you just realize that the training wheels have come off, and now it's what's happening is this forever. This is going to be a bloody fight, gruesome wars, all of that. At one point, you see Omni-Man. He's in a fight, and he just slaps someone like clean in half. Like he hits him with a table, and he just splits. That's not a spoiler. Don't worry. But yeah, he just like you can see the effects of superpowers on people, especially when you look at the main character, Invincible. He like the entire premise is that he's coming. It's a coming of age story. He's getting his superpowers. He's learning how they work. He's trying to figure out. With great power comes great responsibility type of meme. And he has to learn to balance his power versus like what he truly wants to do and achieve in any given scene. That sounds vague because I'm trying not to ruin anything. But then you see that he doesn't have a control or understanding of his powers, and like he hurts some people by accident. It's not intentional, but he does his best to try and fix it after. It can get pretty shocking, not just with him, but with all the heroes. And just J.K. Simmons playing Omni-Man is just wild. Like, there's so much character to him. When you first watch it, he just seems like the upstanding superhero, Superman type. But, like, there's so many layers, and his character is so much deeper, and there's so many angles being played. Like, all the strings of the universe you can see are all right there, but you don't know which delicate little chord is going to be plucked next to get the campaign, this story to continue. Like once you start, like, you don't want to stop. I started it. I was laying in bed. This boy right here, and I was like, you know what? I'll throw on the Amazon Prime and the old Xbox One, Xbox Series X, whatever the hell it's called, and I'll watch the first episode, and then the second, and then like half of the third, and I fell asleep because it was up for a long time. And then the next day I was supposed to record, and I decided to watch the other 3.5, 4 episodes of the show and finish it. So I essentially finished it in less than a day, and I usually hate doing that because I'm always terrified that I'm gonna fall in love with something, and then like seasons two or more will never happen. Like, that's kind of like the crux of liking anime, is that you'll jump into it and you're like, wow, this was phenomenal, and then it's but it's not huge in the West, or the we're not gonna continue this, so sorry. Good luck though. It's finished in the manga or the light novel if you want to read like an animal. I don't want to read, thank you. That's why I like TV shows. But seasons 2 and 3 for this show have already been confirmed, so I was like, you know what? I'll break my rules. I'll watch this TV show. Maybe I'll be surprised, and the wait will be worth it. And let me tell you, I am already checking my watch to see when the next season comes out. So like it's all like my praises. The characters are really good. I do love most of the characters, and like the action. Oh, the action! It's not even just about the gruesome. We were talking about anime, right? Like, you're watching Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, super fixed it, but this show, immaculate. When it comes to the fight scenes, they'll maybe have a little monologue. They'll like talk back and forth, like the setup, like, hey, the heck, man, we're doing a fight? That's crazy. And then the exposition is being told through their fists, like the yelling, the grunting, their little one-liners back and forth. The fighting doesn't stop. It's not just a couple punches and then like some camera work and fancy other things to just like distract you from like the fight. It's not. The fight isn't the background piece. The fight is the main focus, and that's the way it should be with superhero shows, or hell, even anime. Like, it should be your primary goings-ons, and it is. Like, it never cuts away. It doesn't shy away from the violence. Doesn't innocent civilians die, and you realize, yeah, this is probably what a world with superheroes would look like. You have two super beings fighting each other. There's going to be casualties. They're fighting in a city. And you see the civilians like get blown apart, like raining the body parts, and it sounds gruesome when I'm explaining it, because it is. And it's not like in the camera, like in the focus, like blood. But if you look at the background, you can see like just corpses and mangled people and bodies just start piling up, and you're like, yep, yeah, this is what's happening. And you still want to root for the hero to save the day, but at this point, it's about damage control. Like, how many people can you save versus how many people are you actually saving at the moment? It has a crazy dichotomy it's really fun, and I really hope they continue to explore like the good versus evil mentality, lone defender versus community task forces, stuff like that. But let's shift into a little bit of spoilers, just a little bit. I'm not going to ruin like any big twists or anything. Just let's talk about the characters. They're all really good, except for the love interest. And I'll put a timestamp here if you don't want to hear like why, but I'm going to jump into a little bit of the spoilers around that. So my biggest thing that I don't like about the show, and it's a very small thing, but I feel like I have to go into detail to explain why it bothers me so much, but it's Mark Invincible Grayson. It's his girlfriend. Like, the love interest that, like, he said it himself in one of the episodes, you didn't even know who I was until I stood up to this bully guy, and he got his ass kicked, and she's like, haha, yeah, my hero, whatever, but I seem to recall you getting your ass kicked. And he's like, that's crazy, until I didn't, when he got his powers, and he didn't get hurt anymore. So she doesn't know he's a hero until, like, he keeps disappearing, he's late all the time, like, all these things, and it's putting a strain on the relationship. And as you're watching, you're kind of like, damn, I hope they figure it out. Like like back in the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, it's like the balancing being a hero and balancing being a person. Like, you have to find a balance to be this person everybody needs and wants to help them, versus being your own person and doing what you want and think you have to do for your social life, your family, all that. But of course, Omni-Man's like, yeah, remember like what you're loyal to. You're loyal to being a hero. You're I won't say you're an alien. Like, you need to focus on what's important and what you need to do in the future. But then towards the end, Mark is finally like, hey, I'm a superhero. This is why I'm always late. Like, I'm sorry, but this is how it's been. And then she just goes, I know. Yeah, I know. That's not the point. You lied to me. It's like, so this man got his ass beaten across the planet, saving lives, thousands of lives, and she's pissed off that he was lying to her about it. Like, the way I saw it is that it should be equals. She works in like a soup kitchen for the local community. She knows like everybody's names. She's the type of person that wants to be the change that she wants to see in the world, which is completely admirable for a character standpoint. But then he has this superhero, super identity that he doesn't tell her when they've been dating, I think like less than 5 months, if that. So she's pissed off that he didn't give up everything to tell her the first like second he got powers. It seems really weird. Like, it seems like the way they were writing her aggressive, like, she has an aggressive personality, but she means well, and it's just like this tough girl bravado type of thing, but deep down, like, she just wants to help people. So it's really weird that when you look at Mark, she gets pissed off that he's lying when he goes out of his way to, like, save her and the friends and all that. Like, it doesn't add up. It does, like, that's the one thing that is like slowing me down, is I'm like, I don't get what the character is supposed to be, because then at the very end, I won't tell the full spoiler. I won't tell it all, because I know we're in the spoiler territory, but I don't want to ruin everything. But things happen, they break up. Mark gets his ass absolutely handed to him and kicked across the world, like, down, bloody, and dying. He comes back from the super secret superhero hospital, and then she just walks in and kisses him again, and then they're like, yep, I guess this is a thing now. I guess it's not like you had crushed my heart and really kicked me out for lying to you, but now that certain events have transpired, now everything's cool again. Like, I actually thought that this was going to be when Mark decided, you know what, this isn't worth it. Dating a regular person just doesn't make sense. I need to focus on being a hero. And then maybe like one of the other female heroes he starts getting involved with. But then it was like, nope, undo it. We're all forgiven. And it's just all about how many times she forgives him when Mark kind of got screwed over in it. That's just my long-winded opinion on it. It doesn't like ruin the show. Like, it doesn't take you out of the experience. But like, I don't know. It just seems weird to me, you know? The only other negative, there's only like 2 negatives. That thing we just talked about in this non-spoiler one is that during like the big scale fight scenes, like kind of in the background, there's really janky CGI. Like, suddenly it'll go from the hand-drawn fights, and then you'll see like the civilians running away with this like Final Fantasy, whatever that movie was called, like weird CG. And it's not like terrible, but it's very noticeable. Like, it's not, it takes up probably less than 20 full seconds across all 7 episodes that are like 43 minutes apiece. So literally like 1/100th of even if even that, like 1/1000th of what the show is, like the whole entire runtime. But when you see it, you go, oh yeah, no, that's okay. No, I see it. But you know, that's just my opinion on those 2 things. But everything else, amazing show. Complete misdirection in that first episode, and after that, it grabs you by the hand and just, you dive in the deep end, and let me tell you, it does not let go until the ending, and now you're just sitting there, just scratching your neck, waiting for the next season to drop, which I'm sure it'll be in like 2025. If it was Netflix, luckily it's Amazon, so maybe they'll just crank that bad boy right out. But, yeah, like, I don't know, maybe I'll pick up the comics, maybe you should if you want to see how it goes, but I feel like that first episode, that first big like bait and switch, if I hadn't seen the other clips online, like, that would have blown my mind. But I feel like reading it in the comics, it would just be like, oh, like big wholesome family, all superheroes, blood, that's crazy. But in the show, it's literally just bang, rip them apart, and you're like, whoa there, what the fuck? So, like, I feel like, for at least for season 1, the big misdirection and twist, like, watch it first, but I might pick up a few comics just so I can satiate my bloodlust for this show. I'd say on like a scale of 0 to 10, 0 to 100, I'd say it's a 9.5. 95%. This show is amazing. I would say anybody will like it, but at the same time, if you can't handle the viscera, the body guts, and like in some cases, innocent lives being taken, it's really, really graphic. The further you get in, the denser the body count gets. And I would say that's the only thing. Like, if you don't like it, if you can't handle, like, the blood and guts and all that, obviously it's a main component. You probably won't enjoy it in the long run. But if you can handle that, the characters will grab you and guide you through the story. You'll just want to see more and more because it just feels like they keep setting up a universe that, like, you want to know everything about it. But hopefully the show keeps going. He seems like a really good writer. At least the comics, I'm assuming he's also helping adapt the show. So I'm hoping that it's around for a while, especially with 2 seasons already confirmed. And honestly, I'm excited to see what comes next. And this is going to be a show that I would honestly say, like, anybody that can handle blood, hop in the deep end because it's going to take you for a ride. But that's about it. That's my opinion on the matter. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more yearly TV show and movie reviews, because I don't really do it. I don't really watch a whole lot of things that aren't YouTube. But like when I do, it's stuff like this, and I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. Now I'm gonna be like wearing the Invincible superhero cosplay, But subscribe if you want to see more of that. Be sure to check out the show. If you want to see any of my live streams, twitch.tv/LazyAfterDark in the description below me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. God, it's just such a good show. Like, come on. Do you really think that everybody's gonna be the good guy? Think, Mark, think!